There were three close friends at university: Vion, Christeen, and Vion. They weren't just batchmates. They were soul sisters. They shared their deepest fears, dreams, and all the ups and downs of student life. For Vion and Vion, who lived far from home, this friendship became their greatest source of strength. Over time, their trust in one another grew beautifully. They believed in each other without doubt. One day, Vion had to get a very important personal task done, something that can be meant for her future. She approached a familiar service provider, but things didn't go as planned. The service wasn't completed as quickly as she hoped, and the provider showed signs of carelessness. She didn't have time to search for alternatives. Deeply worried but unintentionally, Vion didn't share the full situation with Vion. A few days later, Vion needed a similar service. Her task wasn't urgent, more of a general need. She casually mentioned to the other two that she was thinking of using the same service provider. That's when Vion quickly said, "He's not as helpful anymore. Maybe you should try someone else." Vion noticed something odd in that response, but out of respect, she followed the advice and looked elsewhere. Later, as things unfolded, Vion began to understand. Maybe Vion wasn't being selfish. Maybe she was just trying to protect her own task. Maybe she feared that if the provider became overloaded, the already delayed task wouldn't get done at all. But that unspoken reason still hurt. Vion thought, if Vion had just told me the truth, I would have waited, or found someone else. But why didn't she tell me? Didn't she trust me? Being an overthinker, she couldn't let go of that feeling. It became a quiet burden on her heart. And that's how their bond began to quietly crack. Not through a fight, not through betrayal, but through silence. They were in their final days at university, and they didn't get the time to open up or talk it through. The connection, once full of laughter, now felt distant. Christeen, caught in the middle, may have felt it too. But misunderstandings grew in the silence. No one found the time or the courage to speak honestly. And so, the beautiful friendship slowly dissolved. Not because of a huge mistake, but because of a small one that was never spoken about. Years later, when Vion, Christeen, and Vion look back at their university memories, they all smile at all the fun times. But deep down, like a tiny thorn under the skin, they all still feel that one moment that ended without clarity or closure. Have you ever lost a friendship not because of betrayal, but because of silence? Let me whisper something to your heart. Don't assume people are trying to hurt you. Sometimes their silence is just fear or confusion. What you feel may not always be the truth. Your mind will search for proof, but it doesn't always find the full story. Let go of the small things that hurt. If the intention wasn't to harm you, don't carry the pain forever, because trust takes time to build, but it can break in just one moment. And repairing it, that's the hardest part. Whisperkind Reminders. True friendships deserve honesty. Speak before it's too late. Silence doesn't always protect. It sometimes destroys. If this story touched your heart, like the video, comment below. If you've ever had a similar experience, subscribe to Whisperkind for more soft-spoken stories that reflect real emotions. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next whisper of healing.